Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Vocational Skills Training Bidders Conference. Thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Leah Scher. I'm the Manager of Training and Upskilling here at Philadelphia Works. I'm going to be leading us through this presentation along with my colleague, Sadia Chance.
Hello, everyone.
Quick moment of housekeeping. We would just ask that everyone, if you're not already, please mute yourself so there's no background noise to distract while we do our presentation. And the other ask, for any questions that you have, please put them in the chat. We have a lot of material to cover today and a pretty large group of attendees, so we will absolutely make sure to address any and all questions, but we might be addressing them after the fact in our FAQ. So we'll have a little bit more information about that later, but just please, any questions that come up throughout the presentation, feel free to throw them right in the chat. Next slide, please. So I'm going to do a quick high-level discussion of our mission here at Philadelphia Works, for those of you who may not be familiar. We are the city's workforce development board, and therefore Philadelphia Works functions as a workforce system leader and an investor. We develop and manage smart workforce solutions that respond to business needs and increase economic opportunity for Philadelphia residents. So of course, as I'm sure you all know, we are here to discuss an investment opportunity today.
So as Leah mentioned, Philadelphia Works functions as a workforce system leader and investor. This means that our organization invests in trainings that align with workforce needs, as well as models that propel us towards our vision of a thriving workforce. The training initiatives team focuses on 3 workforce models: employer-driven opportunities. This would kind of fall in line with your apprenticeship programs or your customized job trainings, on-the-job trainings. Also, our individual tuition assistance, with a lot of our providers know as the ITA programs. And lastly, the contracted cohort-based skills training, which is also known as our VSTs. This particular procurement cycle will focus on vocational skills trainings, which is our contracted cohort-based trainings here at PhilaWorks. Philadelphia Works also releases multiple procurement phases throughout the year. If this RFP doesn't align with your prospective training program, please feel free to look out for other procurement opportunities listed on our website.
Awesome. So now we're going to start with a high-level overview of what we're looking for in this RFP. We're particularly gearing this towards adult career seekers in the public workforce system. Eligible training programs must meet the following standards. They should lead to an industry-recognized credential, have clearly defined pathways to employment for graduates, prepare learners for success in a high-priority occupation, and lastly, they should include partnership with at least one employer partner, resulting in at least 70% employment for all successful trainees. And on the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that employer partnership piece. Thank you, Ben. So employer partnership. We're seeking employer partnerships. It can be one employer partner, it can be multiple employer partners, but the ultimate goal is we want ideally 100% of our successful program graduates connected to employment, but the benchmark we're aiming for is 70% and higher. For what an employer partner can look like, we would like it to be a for-profit organization with a specific and clearly defined hiring need within the industry. I would like to mention that in certain cases, an organization can apply jointly as both the training partner and the employer partner. If that is the case, usually these are larger organizations, we would love to see in your proposal an emphasis on how you can manage both of these things effectively and what capacity your organization has to do both. In any case, employer partners should validate and prioritize specific industry recognized credentials within the hiring process. They should be located in Philadelphia or in surrounding counties in southeastern Pennsylvania. And they should have an established relationship with the training provider and a commitment to hiring trainees who complete the training program.
Basic applicant eligibility. At minimum, eligible applicant organizations can include any of the following: nonprofits, for-profits, educational institutions, community training providers or organizations, government entities. Proposals that culminate in only basic certifications or certificates of completions will not be considered, will be considered non-responsive and not be reviewed within this RFP. For example, if you have a phlebotomy training, but the end certification is a certificate of completion and CPR training. It's great to have CPR training, but you do not need that to enter into the field of phlebotomy. What's needed is the amount of sticks that deems you a phlebotomist or the certification for phlebotomy technician. Lastly, applicants must be in good financial standing. If there are any contracting issues or financial issues that your organization is currently facing, we ask that you apply once those have been corrected and you're back in good financial standing. So let's talk a little bit about what defines a strong applicant. For this RFP, we are looking for organizations that incorporate reliable and streamlined pathways to employment, as well as have strong existing employer partnerships with commitments to hire. As Leah stated, the RFP goal with outcome goal is 70% for employment. This can look in multiple ways to be creative. You can do externships, paid work experience, or actual working with a employer partner to help create that pipeline directly into employment. Whichever that looks like, we are looking for organizations that have that strong connection with their employer to emphasize their training, to also kind of help create the guidelines or the the guidelines or the actual credentials needed to fulfill the workplace hiring needs. Also, within this presentation, you'll hear a little bit from our data team on what the data requirements, if contracted or if awarded a vocational skills contract, what are the data requirements to fulfill your contract needs, as well as strong organizational experience and infrastructure, as well as in staffing. This means we want programs that have already been doing this type of work, something that is already pre-established prior to award. If this is a new project and you're kind of piloting this, we are looking for organizations that already have everything in place that once they're awarded, they can kind of hit the ground running and implement this for our PA Career Link customers. Sorry. Next slide, please. So again, we are also looking for competency-based training content, high quality course instruction, quality training programs with wraparound supports that will help students not only enroll in training, but be successful throughout their trainings. Blended learning content that is informed by adult learning principles, as this is geared towards adult learners, ages 18 and up. And lastly, well-defined proactive recruitment strategy and student selection processes. This should be already established within your training, but you will also look to work with PA Career Link customers, either referring them to the centers or having students come into your training. So what that student selection process looks like, as well as the assessment to enroll, is what we want to know from providers as they're recruiting and engaging customers.
Thank you, Cynthia. So next, I want to talk about some of the targeted industries we're looking for with this request for proposals. I want to be clear that this particular request for proposals is open to more industries than just these 4 that we're targeting. We are open to strong proposals from any sector, but there are 4 in particular that we're looking to build out our training portfolio in. The first 2 I'm going to mention are healthcare and advanced manufacturing and infrastructure. I will also note on these slides are examples of careers that fit within these umbrellas, but they are not comprehensive. There are a great variety of roles that could qualify under these industries. For healthcare, a couple of examples are medical assistants, licensed nurses, and occupational therapy assistants. And for advanced manufacturing and infrastructure, this can include welders, highway maintenance workers, heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration mechanics, and industrial machinery mechanics. The last couple of industries that we are targeting are information technology and life sciences. Some examples of information technology careers could include data analytics, cybersecurity analysts, and computer network support specialists. And for life sciences, these could include laboratory technicians, pharmaceutical, manufacturing and biomanufacturing technicians, and clinical research coordinators.
Thank you, Leah. Um, to expand a little bit from earlier in regards to collaboration with PA Career. If awarded a vocational skills training, you are expected to work with the PA CareerLink centers. We have 4 centers across Philadelphia, one in North, West, Suburban Station, as well as Northwest. Um, each of our centers have a representative that will work with you to help engage customers in enrollment into your training, as well as assess their eligibility. With that being said, areas of collaboration include facilitating recruitment events, assessing a potential customer's suitability for training. Are there any assessments in place, such as CASAS testing, Wonderlic testing, etc.? Communicating and managing enrollment logistics. So if a student is completed all the steps needed to enroll, not only the provider side, but also on the PA CareerLink, and monitoring and reporting customer time, attendance, as well as their performance. This is really a big one, which you'll hear later within our data portion of this presentation. All of this information is helpful to not only case manage, but also make sure that our customers are successful in training and complete training as needed. And connecting customers to potential internships or job opportunities is where you'll constantly be in communication with CareerLink, even after postgraduate training, stating if a customer has obtained employment, if they have failed a test or need to retake. All of that communication will be with not only your assigned program representative, but also with CareerLink representatives as well. Next slide. Oh, and now we are going to I'm going to introduce my colleague, Alyssa Tumler, who is going to talk a little bit more about the William Penn Foundation grant.
Thanks, Sadia. Good afternoon, everyone. So as workforce investors and conveners, one thing that we always like to do is think about how we're really making wise investments and braiding our funding. So I am going to just spend a couple minutes talking about a grant that we have from the William Penn Foundation and how this plays into the RFP. So we have a grant and it's really focused on this overarching goal of helping to connect and improve the ways that adult education and workforce support one another. And so when it comes to workforce training programs, we have a couple objectives that we would love to hear more about within your RFP as it relates to your programs. Again, we love to be able to leverage our investments and see how each different pieces of funding can support one another. And so something that we'd love to hear from you is how your program could actually benefit and align to some of the objectives here. So I will say this is all awardees, we'd actually like them to pick one objective and be prepared to discuss how that objective could fit into their program. But proactively, we would really love to hear from you at this stage in a very short two paragraphs at most. If there might be one or more objectives that can fit into your training and really benefit your training. So just to highlight a couple of those objectives, as I mentioned, we really want to be supporting individuals who are coming from underrepresented populations facing barriers to employment. We understand not every training program can't be designed for everyone, but if there are some opportunities to have extra supports or kind of pre-supports, this is really a great opportunity. So one objective is, again, expanding access to training. And there are some more specific examples within the RFP on page 13. But just one example of this could be providing upskilling to candidates who might need some extra literacy or numeracy support to get into your training, to pass your assessments. So another objective is implementing strategies to aid in the successful completion of training programs. This might look like maybe there's some additional math, reading, English language test preparation that you find, hey, sometimes we see some students or learners kind of need some extra support with this. And then the third objective is offering additional programming or support to minimize barriers. So this might look like additional work readiness or preparation aligned to employer needs. Conversations that I'll hear from providers from time to time is if I could offer my learners maybe help getting their driver's license, or an additional certification that would really improve their ability to get connected to employment or to, employment with higher wages. So these are just some examples. We'd really love to hear at least maybe one or more objective that you think might support the success of individuals accessing your program, completing the program, or gaining employment. So, again, this is entirely optional, but if providing some good, clear examples will be very favorable. So this can actually be completed at the end of section 2 within the program narrative. And again, no more than 2 paragraphs. So I think that's it for me. And certainly if you have any questions, you can include them in the chat.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. I am now going to pass things over to my colleague Sharon, who is the director of our finance team, and she's going to be talking about some budget information and payment structure.
Next slide, please. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Robinson. I am the director of contracts. In order to complete this RFP, you have to fill out the budget piece of this RFP. All applicants must complete the budget sheet that's attached to the RFP. The payment structure for all awarded funds is cost reimbursement. Administrative costs and direct or indirect cannot exceed 10% of overall programmatic expenses. Following the proposal determines a detailed budget, which will be developed through the negotiated conversation. You guys will also have a account liaison assigned to you who will actually go over the actual budget if you are awarded. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm just going to go over this really quickly. Organization, your name, program name. The budget is comprised of 2 sides: administrative costs and programmatic costs. The admin staffing costs with staffing and fringes would be your CEO, your CFO. They would be considered admin, administrative. Operating costs would be telephone, postage, anything that has to do with operating at the side of your training facilities, your rent, insurance. That would be admin. Other staff operating costs would be staff travel. That's the audit, that would be an administrative cost. Supplies, consumable supplies, and any other expenses like the consultant. If you have an administrative consultant, that would be on the admin side. The next line is important if you have a indirect cost rate, a federal indirect cost rate. If you have a federal indirect cost rate, these items on the administrative side will not have to be completed. You will use that rate instead of itemizing all this administrative costs, but it has to be an approved direct federal approved rate. Next slide, please. Programmatic side, that will be the staff salaries, anybody that's your instructors or your program directors. That will be programmatic salaries. That's an example. Communications, telephone, postage, internet. That's anything that has to do with running the side of your program, facilities, maintenance, utilities, insurance, other program operating expenses, staff travel, if you're going to a conference, professional development, a conference, subcontractor services, if you have to have a consulting agreement with someone on the programmatic side, that would be listed as on a program consultant. And that's the gist of the template here. But there will be another template if you are chosen for this program. There will be another template that has to be filled out with more detailed information, but you will have help completing that template. And we know that it can be a little dicey filling out this template, but you will receive help from either my staff, my contract managers, or everyone will be assigned contract liaisons. If you have any questions, you can just put them in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. And now we're going to switch gears and talk data. So I will pass things over to my colleague, Regina Adams.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as Sadia mentioned briefly earlier in the presentation, as a requirement of partnering with Philadelphia Works through the vocational skills training programs, there are some data management and performance reporting requirements. Training providers who are awarded a contract will be required to update us at Philadelphia Works, as well as the PA Career Link teams about students' training statuses. So we ask that all contracted providers just work proactively to communicate about these statuses, and that includes any challenges or additional supports that may be needed to help customers successfully complete the program and try to ensure positive outcomes for as many students as possible. So when there are issues that arise or perhaps barriers that the PA Career Link teams can support with, it's important that the training providers we work with can share that information so that it can be addressed before students may have the need to leave the program. And at minimum, we ask providers to submit enrollment confirmation for any new students, any new cohorts. And then on an ongoing basis, we require monthly updates for these students as they proceed through the program and continue pursuing a credential and pursuing employment. So in addition to the monthly updates, which is in the form of a monthly submitted template, we also ask the contracted providers to share verification for different milestones like certificates or credentials that are awarded throughout the course of the program, and to also assist us with following students up to 60 days post-graduation. So in many cases, the last day of training may or may not result in their credential in hand. So for those students who continue to work on a credential after graduation, we do ask that training providers help us to secure those outcomes and secure documentation, whether it's a copy of the credential, a score report, anything that you're able to provide, so that we can verify that these outcomes occurred, and they can also be submitted along with invoicing and different performance documentation. So the submission of all of these updates does require file submissions through secure platforms that are managed by Philadelphia Works, and any providers who are awarded a contract will get a thorough overview of those systems and make sure that they're set up for success and have access. We also ask that providers support students in their employment search and job placements. And if you become aware of a student obtaining employment, just that is included in your monthly reporting as well. So this helps us secure all positive outcomes, both for your contract as well as for Philadelphia Works and Philadelphia participants as a whole. And for the last point here, we just ask that across the board, providers maintain a working partnership with the Career Link staff. Again, we need to maintain open communication between the CareerLink staff, the training providers, and Philadelphia Works to make sure that all of our outcomes have been verified and that the databases required by the state accurately reflect student outcomes and they accurately reflect the contract performance outcomes for your program. Okay. Next slide.
So now let's talk about proposal submission and evaluation process, the good part. Next slide, please. As you all know, we have released a request for proposals for vocational skills trainings on July 7th. Today is your bidders conference. After today, our FAQ sheet will be posted on our procurement page by July 24th. The deadline for all proposal submissions will be August 1st at 5 p.m. Anything received after 5 p.m. on August 1st, on August 2nd will not be reviewed and will be determined as non-responsive for this RFP. Award determinations will be made by September 12th. All award determinations will be made. If you were not awarded throughout this procurement cycle, your reasoning and logistics will be sent to you as well, giving you a reason as to why you weren't awarded for this procurement cycle. Upon receiving all proposal submissions on August 1st, that Monday when we come back into the office, we will do a soft scan of any proposals received. Once through our soft scan of the proposals, this is just to make sure that everything is intact. There's nothing missing out of your proposal. If there is something missing, our team will reach out depending on what is missing out of your proposal to let you know that it has been reviewed, what was missing, and why it was not why your proposal did not move forward in regards to review submission to the next round. You can go to the next slide. Proposals must be submitted via email to procurement@philaworks.org, again by Friday, August 1st, no later than 5 p.m. Emails must have the subject line Vocational Skills Training RFP. It should be one PDF document per attachment, as well as an unlocked version of the programmatic budget sheet. Please review the RFP guidelines to meet all the page limit requirements. And lastly, applicants that are proposing multiple training programs must submit separately for each consideration. If there is one proposal with 3 training programs attached, only the first will be reviewed. Additional supporting documents such as a copy of the program's proposed training curriculum or syllabus are welcomed. However, please do not include a copy of your organization's strategic plan. Good to know, not necessary to have. Or propose program implementation plans as far as how you propose to implement this program are welcome as well, but again, they're not required. All required attachments must be completed thoroughly and attached to your proposal submission. If they are not completed thoroughly, we will deem this as non-responsive and will reject your proposal for moving forward within our RFP process. I'm sorry, not non-responsive, incomplete. I've just had that word trickling.
I see a lot of great questions rolling in the chat, so thank you all for that. We're going to talk about questions for a moment. For any questions and any communication around this RFP, we are asking that all of those communications go to the procurement@philaworks.org email. Depending on your question, you can put whatever you like in the subject line, but please do reference the Vocational Skills Training RFP, so the folks managing that inbox know what they're looking at. As I know it's been mentioned earlier, I think Cecilia mentioned, we are going to be posting the Q&A publicly by July 24th. That's going to be available on our website. And we will subsequently, after that, update the Q&A continuously with any questions that we get to that inbox. So you can look out on a weekly basis to see if there's any continued updates there. So please do continue to send any questions that you have. You can go to the next slide, Ben. Feel free to send any questions that you have right now in the chat or to that email address, again, procurement@philaworks.org. We're not going to spend a lot of time answering questions today in the interest of being fair and equitable and making sure we have really thorough and thoughtful answers for you all. We're going to be writing out all of those answers and posting them to the website as part of the FAQ. But don't be shy, keep them coming in. And one more reminder, the final deadline is Monday, August 8th at 5 p.m. And that is really all we have today. We were able to make some great time, and I'm sure everyone will be happy to get a little bit of their day back. But we'll definitely leave this room open for a couple of more minutes in case anyone wants to send any more questions here in the chat. We'll be accumulating all of those for our FAQ. And again, procurement@philaworks.org. Send any questions, concerns, thoughts, any communication around this RFP to that email address, please. But thank you all so much for coming today. We really appreciate your time. We're really excited to read your proposals. And thank you to my Philadelphia Works colleagues for joining in this presentation as well.